Have you ever heard the phrase, "you'll get it when you're older"? Depending on when you hear that, and honestly, depending on who says it, it's either one of the most infuriating sentences in the English language, or it's that thing that really makes you think about your life through a different lens. When I was a freshman in college, I got close with one of the dudes down the hall from me, David. And sometimes, just as a bit, he'd hit me with it. "You'll get it when you're older." It was something his dad used to say to him growing up, so he'd say it to me about something completely stupid. It was just a joke. And the older I get, the more that stupid joke just makes sense. And man, I hate that I just said that, because that's literally the point of the phrase. So today I want to talk to you why that sentence makes you want to put your head through a wall when you're 19. And I mean like the actual psychological reason, because there is one, and it's better than you'd expect. I want to talk about what's actually happening to you between the ages of 18 and 30 and what you can do with it, because most people just wait it out and hope understanding shows up on its own. It doesn't. Not reliably, and I'll show you why. Let me start with the part everyone recognizes. When you're a kid, you think you're pretty close to understanding the world. Not all of it. You know, there's stuff you haven't learned, but you assume it's like a map with a few blank spots, and you've got the shape of it, you just need to fill in some details. And it's not that. It's not even close to that. Then you turn 18 and the world hands you this document that says you're an adult now. You can vote, you can sign a lease, you can take on debt that will follow you for 20 years, and the culture treats that number like a transformation. I think we need to reframe that entirely. Legally, yes, 18 makes you an adult. In terms of actually knowing how to live, you are a baby that has not figured out how to walk yet. You've been handed the keys to a life you have no functional experience operating. And that's not an insult. I was that. Everyone was that. The problem isn't that you're 18 and clueless. The problem is that at 18, you cannot feel that you're clueless. It doesn't register as missing information. It registers as a complete picture. Then something happens in your mid-20s. You're not an adult baby anymore. Hopefully, you've watched enough things happen that you're starting to kind of see how the machine actually works. But you're still seeing it through young eyes. You've got data now, but not much of a framework to hang it on. For me, it landed right around 25, and what changed wasn't that I knew more facts. It was that things stopped being uncertain and kind of started being pattern recognition. Someone would behave in a certain way, and instead of being blindsided, I'd think, "Oh, I've seen this before. I know where this goes." I found out it's not a feeling, it's measurable. And the popular explanation for it is actually wrong. You've heard this one. Your brain isn't fully developed until you're 25. It's on every podcast. People use it to explain their 20s, excuse their exes, argue about car insurance. It's a misreading, actually. It traces back to real brain imaging work. Nitin Gotke's team scanning kids and young adults every couple of years, watching the frontal lobe mature from back to front. Genuinely important research. But here's the thing nobody really mentions. That data stopped at age 20. 25 was an estimate for an endpoint they never actually measured. It just got repeated until it somehow turned into fact. What the research actually shows now is that white matter, the wiring connecting your brain regions, keeps consolidating well into your 30s and beyond. There's no switch. There's no day where the construction crew just packs up. And I want to be clear about why that's good news. If 25 were the finish line, then whoever you were at 25 is who you'd be stuck with. Now, the thing that I actually described that when I turned 25 has a name. Uncertainty turning into pattern recognition. Psychologists have been measuring this since about the 1940s. Raymond Cattell, later with John Horn, split intelligence into two kinds. Fluid intelligence, that's basically raw processing, like speed, working memory, solving a problem you've never seen. Crystallized intelligence is your accumulated library. Everything you know, every pattern you stored, and every situation you could recognize because you've seen one like it. Fluid intelligence peaks in your mid-20s and then slowly declines. But crystallized intelligence keeps climbing into your 60s and 70s. So the thing I felt at 25, that was basically a handoff. My raw horsepower had topped out, but my pattern library had finally gotten big enough to be useful. I didn't get smarter, I kind of got stocked, pretty much. He called it investment theory. You invest fluid intelligence into experience, and then it accrues as crystallized intelligence, which means the library doesn't fill itself, Aging is more like the opportunity. It's not the mechanism. Hold on to that thought though, because that's the whole video. That's the point. Here's why this phrase should really kind of make you rethink everything if you look at it the right way. In 2013, 3 researchers published a story in Science. 19,000 people ages 18 to 68. They asked 2 questions. How much have you changed in the last 10 years? And how much do you expect to change in the next 10 years? Everybody nailed the first question. People were accurate about their own past, which is actually a little bit surprising in my eyes. And at every single age, people massively underestimated the second one. They had no idea how much they were actually going to change in the next 10 years, which really does prove a lot. 18-year-olds thought they were pretty much finished. So did 40-year-olds. So did 60-year-olds. The researchers called it the end of history illusion. Everyone at every age believes they've just now arrived at the final version of themselves. So when someone says, you'll get it when you're older, what you hear is the person you are currently is incomplete. However, you don't experience yourself as incomplete. You experience yourself as done, not arrogantly. It just feels like the full picture because the missing part is invisible by definition. That's not you being defensive about it. That's a documented cognitive bias. And the person saying the phrase to you has it too. So when someone tells you you'll get it when you're older, what can you actually do about that in order to kind of take what they're saying and go, yeah, I might not get it now, but here's some things I can do so that I'll get it a lot sooner. This is the part that I actually care about, because just wait, you'll understand eventually it's not advice. It's kind of just like a shrug off that assumes that, yeah, you're just not here yet. You're not ready for it. So 1, keep a dated record of what you currently believe. Not a journal. It's not the same thing as writing down your feelings. I mean, write down your actual positions. What do you think about your job, your relationships, your family, what you want your life to look like at 35? Write it down and date it. Put it somewhere you won't look at it for 6 months or a year. The end of history illusion means you cannot feel yourself changing. Change is invisible from the inside. That's the entire finding, pretty much. So the only defense is external evidence, something outside your own memory that can prove you were a different person. The first time you read something you wrote 2 years ago and don't recognize the person who wrote it, that is the illusion quite literally breaking in real time. And once it breaks, it pretty much stays broken. Everybody's been told to journal. Almost nobody has done this, which is a different thing, a dated record of positions, not emotions. The second thing you can do is to stop trading conclusions. Trade the experience underneath. Which might be a little confusing, so let me explain. You'll get it when you're older fails as advice mechanically. It delivers the conclusion and kind of withholds the data that produced it. You can't install someone else's crystallized intelligence. It came from their lived experience of it. Handing over the summary really doesn't do anything, and that's why the phrase is useless even when it's completely true. So we kind of have to flip it both directions. When someone older tells you something you can't use, ask them what happened to them that made them believe that. Get the story, because the story is transferable, but the verdict isn't. And when you're the one who's figured something out, and you will be, don't hand somebody the verdict. Tell them what happened to you and let them do the pattern matching themselves. That's the only version that really transfers. And number 3, crystallized intelligence comes from investing kind of fluid intelligence into experience, not from aging near it. You know people in their 50s who have 30 years of experience, and you know people in their 50s who have 1 year of experience 30 different times. The clock ran identically for both. The difference is whether they've actually processed anything, whether they ever asked why that relationship ended the way it did, or just decided that the person was crazy and moved on. Whether they sat in discomfort long enough to extract the pattern, or kind of reached the explanation that let them off the hook. I said this earlier without realizing it was pretty much the whole point. It's an enlightenment you get just for existing, but only if you're really trying to see it. Aging is the opportunity. Attention is the mechanism. You have to actually spend the fluid intelligence, and the window where you have most of it is exactly the window where you're most convinced you don't need to, which is just the craziest part. Within the last year or so, there have been a handful of moments where I realized I only understood something because I lived enough to get underneath it, to get through the nitty-gritty and see the pattern that came along with it, or see the outcome that happened because of a series of repeated events. And it doesn't arrive as a thought. It's more like something that moves from unconscious straight into conscious without you really putting it there. Understanding the patterns and how somebody treats you, understanding why your friend didn't do the right thing back in high school, understanding the part you played in a relationship falling apart, not the part that they played, your part. Understanding that you can show up for yourself and become a better person for it, not because the world told you to, not because it's what you're supposed to want, but because it works, because it makes you feel better. That's what he was saying to me in that dorm hallway as a joke when he was 19 and had no idea what he was talking about either. My friend David, he was right, and so is whoever said it to you. If you've enjoyed today's episode on what it means to say you'll get it when you're older, please do me a favor. I'm really trying to start this channel and have an outlet for my ideas in a long-form way to talk through things like in a sociological and a psychological perspective. I really want to talk about these things. So like this video if it really hits you on the head and you really feel kind of led to do that. Leave a comment about what you learned from this and how you're going to take what I just taught you and actually apply it to your life. And then if you want more of this, please subscribe. Click the subscribe button and we'll make more of these happen. New videos every single Friday on important topics like this that I'm thinking through. Thank you for being here and peace!